Were you going to put that on?
Oh, yeah. You said you were going to put on the
Oh, yeah, I'll put it
You did get some blood on it, though. I know. If you.
I cut myself on the mic stand.
There's a lot of rusty nails around here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a mess under here, but I'll put it on.
Yeah.
So worst that can happen.
See how it happens.
Probably nothing, I would assume.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know for sure.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh the Gentleman Michaels, and today, as always, I am joined by...
It's Megan, Danny Boy
Oh,
Parade.
boy. Yikes. Big yikes.
Cody Crispy Dog Decker.
Oh, fuck off,
Cody, why,
Fuck
man? Why you gotta
off,
start
dude.
the episode off like that?
God damn it.
I just like the manga.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, thank you for tuning into another episode of Volume 1. Today, we're finally doing it. We're finally tackling another behemoth Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 1, Phantom Blood. Before we go into it, though, as always, there will be chapters down below so you can skip to any part of the review or the episode that you like, but you're going to want to stick around because we got a lot to talk about today. Also, if you're new to the channel and you just clicked because of Jojo, how it works here is we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week, and if enough interest is shown, then we decide to continue the series in a series review as part of our volume duns. So, I mean, you're competing with One Piece that got 500 thumbs up. So I'm saying, all I'm saying is that if we can get a little bit more, 500 or more, or maybe if this episode gets more likes than our One Piece episode, maybe that's grounds for some volume done.
Maybe that's next on the list for volume done, ain't it?
I am so sorry. I
think it's good. It fits. I can finally do it. It fits in the manga. Give me a little credit, you know? Like,
right.
just give me something.
Okay.
All
right.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Wouldn't that be fucking nice? Sorry.
You're not
That
sorry.
was harsh.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
How did you? I mean, this is obviously such a huge series, and I think we've all been a little hesitant and nervous to finally get into it. We've been nervous about, I think, doing Berserk and doing One Piece, but especially after Fist of the North Star and seeing obviously how inspired JoJo was by that series, it only got me more and more excited to finally tackle JoJo's. But how did you guys feel about it? What are some of your thoughts about A, going into this, and B, like, did you have any opinions prior to reading it?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been in like the anime manga circuit for a while now, and I've seen JoJo specifically. I know it's been around for a while, but it just grows substantially over the years, especially at cons. I mean, the cosplay potential is endless with this manga. Anime and manga, that's all I know. So I've seen a lot of it. I have really no idea what it's about. I've heard there is a lot of different themes and different characters to fall in love with. I honestly was a little taken back before I even read it or even wanted to start it because of the art style.
Really? It wasn't something that you liked?
It wasn't something that I would jump into. Just, knowing me, like, I love moe cute shit, so I wasn't too, like, taken by the art.
I thought you would have liked this more, then.
Yeah, I mean, this has got a lot of stuff to look at. There's a lot to look at.
I mean,
that and the art style is pretty cute.
It's teetering on, classic 90s shoujo, that type of art style. I did definitely, I am glad that I read it where I am at now, reading, like Berserk and also Fifth of the North Star. I've definitely warmed up to this art style and this type of story more so than I think I would have if I hadn't read those. So I am grateful to have read it now. But definitely the fandom is...
It's intimidating. It's a little scary.
It's a little scary, a little intimidating. A lot of inside jokes I just don't understand yet. I mean, I will eventually, but that's pretty much all I had going into it.
Cody, how'd you feel?
We mentioned we were given this volume 1 by
yes.
By
yeah, we were given, and this is someone who is a part of our community and has been since day one, a real day oneer, a mod in our Discord. Gotchi Reviews actually sent us the volume 1 for Phantom Blood and for part 2. So for part 1 and part 2, the hardcover edition. I think his dog chewed on this one or something. But
nice, it's canon.
It's something that I've wanted to read for a long time. Thank you, Gotchi, by the way, and we're finally doing it. The art style is something that attracted me right away. I mean, that was something that I was always drawn to, for sure. I mean, the not only the look of the characters, but they seem to be, there's something inherently flamboyant, it seems, about JoJo's, and I love that. I mean, I was drawn to it. I actually have a memory of picking this up in a Barnes & Noble a long time ago and reading about half of it. And for whatever reason, I think what you said, Megan, does kind of touch on how I felt. I am in a place now where I'm ready for this. And I think because of Berserk and because of even Fist of the North Star, upon reread many years later, I was absolutely just really blown away and taken by this. But Cody, what about you?
I thought this was going to be a much harder series to get into. Because I've only seen like some clips and it looks wild, and I was expecting like it to be a hard entry to go in, but it seems like a pretty like easy going story.
Totally. I can't even fathom to how it gets to that point.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, this, everybody, and, you know, we experienced it a little bit with Berserk and everybody talking about the Black Swordsman arc. And a lot of people were saying, like, not a lot of people, but there are some people that say, like, oh, yeah, it's all about the Golden Age arc. You don't have
can
to
skip the Black
Which is
just
not
skip
true.
it.
You can't and shouldn't absolutely ever do that. But I think a lot of people with Phantom Blood, it starts out, it's the beginning, and it starts out, it's not what the series is later on. It becomes something completely different. So I think people are hesitant to maybe start on Phantom Blood. There are even people who might recommend like watching parts in certain orders. But for me, it's like super important to start at the very beginning and see where it all started from.
Because the impression that I get is that's a song pun, and I know that JoJo does a lot of stuff about songs.
They do, yeah.
Which was something I was expecting to happen here. Which we don't even get that far, but like that does seem like you're introduced to the world on such a grounded level.
Mm-hmm.
That whenever it gets to those crazy stuff, I feel like by then I'll like accept it.
And I'm sure you guys know, but just so you know, the listeners and the viewers know that we know. Obviously, this is the way that it happens is that each part covers a different person in Jonathan's lineage. They're all Joestars. Each part is a different. Oh, you didn't know?
No. See, that just I'm going in blind here.
Yeah.
I'm going in.
Neither of you guys knew.
I knew that. Yeah.
Cultural osmosis. Because I was like,
cultural
okay,
osmosis.
how is this? How is this Joestar the same one?
Yeah. So,
but it's not the same one.
They're all part of his lineage. He's the first one, and then it's his ancestors after that. They all have the Joestar name, obviously, and they all have a star, I believe, on their body.
So you could say, "Hey, now you're a Joestar."
You could say that. You could say that.
You could and you should.
You could and you should. So I mean,
I liked it. I don't really see art as much as you guys do, but I like that it was colored.
And I don't know, you know, thanks to Gachi, got to read the hardcover version, but I don't know how you guys read it. If the pages were colored in that sort of orange color for a majority of the first chapter, which I thought was so cool. It was such a cool, different, like it felt very stylized, which also feels very JoJo. I think. It's a style of coloring that I hadn't seen before, but I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah. This did versions of like this type of story, right, where you meet the character. This did it in the way that I like, which is weird because based on the way they're drawn, I assumed it would be in the opposite direction of like he's like crazy cool and like strong and everything, and he wins every fight. And it was really interesting how it does not start on that note.
Not at all. I mean, this first volume is wild. I mean, it's not quite bizarre yet.
No,
but it's wild.
In some aspects, it may be a bit, but I gasped out loud a lot, and more so than I thought I was going to, because I wouldn't say it's predictable, but you know, some shenanigans are ensuing during these two's relationship, and I gasped so many times because I was not expecting it to go there.
Yeah, and I want to briefly, really quick too, we'll get into going through the first volume in a bit, but there's obviously two different anime versions. There's a 1993 version that's an OVA that covers not all of it. It covers certain parts, not every part, but then there's the 2012 version, and you watched a couple episodes of that.
Yeah, I watched, I think, I think it's episode 1 and 2 that cover the first volume that I watched, and I was like, I absolutely love the anime. I think it's beautiful. Yeah.
2012 wasn't that long ago. I think it holds up. I think it's awesome.
Well, it's the style for sure that helps it just not age, because it is drawn in that type of style. So it is very much like it helps it out a lot versus like some anime in 2012 is you can kind of see it. But did you watch the dub or the sub?
I pretty sure I watched the dub. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I have some thoughts on Joestar's accent and some
Yeah,
of their
you sent
accents.
us a couple videos about that.
Yeah, it's like it's very much like what's her name in the Marvel movies where she's like Russian and
Oh,
and then
Scarlett
she's
Johansson.
not
Scarlett Johansson?
yeah, and
Yeah.
also
Is it Scarlett
Mia
Johansson?
and
Yeah.
Mia what's it Romanoff? What is
Khalifa.
Scarlet Witch?
Oh no, yeah, you're talking about yeah.
Yeah, I'm also talking about that,
Scarlet
but
Witch.
it's very
That,
much
like,
so in
did they
that
try to, like,
element.
do something like, oh, the reason her accent slips is she's like crazy.
Yeah.
But Black
Someone
Widow
did
had one
that.
in Iron Man 2 and then never had one again. I
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was very much. I was like, Joestar, why do you? It's almost there. It's and it's almost there. That's why I had to watch the dub because it is set in like London.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
London days.
London.
I thought it was
days.
great. I mean, they're clearly having so much fun
Oh,
recording it.
I
Yeah.
didn't say it was bad, but it was just very funny. Some of the lines.
Yeah.
It's like he's regal and he's almost there on a British accent, and sometimes he pronounces things in a British accent and
Yeah.
he's not.
It's a bizarre accent if you really
It's
think
a
about it.
bizarre accent, isn't
Or it's a
it?
bizarre dub, you could say.
Oh, it's a bizarre
Yeah,
dub.
have we gotten to the part where that pun makes sense?
What do you mean? I mean, it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh, I thought there's a character called Bizarre.
No,
No, it's a bizarre adventure that JoJo and Dio
Embark
go
on.
Embark on.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
I
yeah.
gotta say, I did. Man, that guy
Oh man,
That guy
really
sucks.
sucks.
that guy sucks too
I have
hard.
never hated a character as much, and it is very much in the style of like that guy you just love to hate.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I don't even. Yeah, I don't see how. Well, I don't even love to hate him.
I don't
I
even
hate
know
that
how he
guy.
can get redeemed.
I mean, what
That
I
is-
really
yeah.
do like about it is that they, the author Hirohiko, he tried his best to give us a little insight into why Dio is the way he is. He tried to give us,
Mhm.
reasons, his upbringing, not even just that, but just where he lived, where he was, like as far as like within the class system. Like he was very poor, but even that is not enough
No, it's
to
not.
forgive
Yeah,
the
There's
horrid
some
things.
things where I'm like, okay, maybe he can be forgiven. And he just does one thing where I'm like, nope, this guy's done.
He does
This guy's done in my book.
multiple things.
There's one thing in particular.
I know, but I mean, they're all bad.
No, but that one was the worst.
There's
that
two.
one
There's
has
two
to
that
be
are
the
pretty
worst.
up there.
But that one, I was like, there's no going back.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his the in between chapters keeps them being like it looks like they're in a friendly rivalry,
Mhm.
and I'm like, but he like did awful things. To
Yeah,
him.
and he mentions that too. He's just we'll talk about it, but it's just that character is something else.
Yeah.
And seeing Joestar, I know these names, Dio, Joestar, who doesn't know these names? I was like, damn, this is where we're going with this guy, huh?
Yeah. I can't. I'm really excited to start going through Volume 1 and hopefully the rest of Phantom Blood, but I am even more excited to really get into the craziness that is some of the other parts, just seeing the characters in all their high fashion and everything.
Yeah,
It's right
the-
up my alley. If you
The
know what I
end
mean.
of part 1, I was like, this is right up my alley.
Yeah. And what I really,
something was up my alley.
what was up your alley?
Jojo.
Joey. Good old Joey, huh?
Yeah. What does Joey from Friends say? He says,
How you doing?
yeah, how you doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, and what I really, what I think is so amazing about JoJo is just that it's like continued to just be so relevant, and I think it's really hard to like change with the times. But not only do I think JoJo like changes with the times, like it's still like challenging, like what is possible in manga. I mean, just with its protagonists, their aesthetics. I mean, I think it's a trailblazer of a series, and I'm excited to start getting into it. So without further ado, let's just start breaking it down and backing it up.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah, dude. That's what's
the
up.
first volume. That's what's up. Dude.
That's what's up, dude.
The first volume opens. Chapter 1 opens, and we're shown the Aztecs from an ancient time.
Which is never. I mean,
Never good.
I've seen countless horror movies. That's where the evil lingers.
a lot of evil magic. A lot of people
evil
don't-
magic.
A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually half Mexican, and the Mexican side of my family from Mexico, like they dabbled in some magic and some witchcraft.
yeah, with
in,
the chickens and
Oh, I mean,
Santeria.
it was crazier than that.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
was it?
No, it wasn't Santeria.
It wasn't Santeria?
It was crazy.
Oh.
I can't even say some of the stuff.
What did they
Oh
have
my
crystal
God.
balls?
No. I can tell you maybe one or two anecdotes, but the rest is like I can't. I mean,
goes to the grave or what?
I mean, let's just say that like they were kind of like maybe witch doctors.
Were they
or
ghosts?
Something.
Is
Maybe.
your family ghosts?
Maybe. I just haven't discovered yet.
Oh,
I haven't tried to
shit.
really, throw anything through them or pass through them yet.
Yeah, it's weird because like you never do that to someone.
Yeah.
So it's really
They
hard
could
to
be.
tell. Yeah.
But like one time, for example, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this by my family, but like my grandma.
Who definitely listens.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure,
they're
biggest fans.
Patreon members.
How
Oh,
could
hell
they
yeah,
not
yeah.
support
They're
you?
on it. Yeah.
But like they my grandma saw like a white owl outside of her window, and ever since then, which is apparently the sign of death, a sign for death, and then ever since then, at that point, she felt like she was covered in these bugs, and she would see them, but my grandpa could apparently see them, but nobody else could see them, and so like he made my dad like go outside, and they had to take a Polaroid picture of the owl, and they had to kill the owl. And then they had to bury the owl with the Polaroid picture and do this like ceremony. And then my grandma, the bugs went away and her sickness went away and she lived for a couple extra years.
But then the bugs got her.
Then the bugs finally got her. Yeah, finally. So I'm just saying, Aztecs, magic from Mexico, I'm familiar.
Because they definitely Aztecs did do human sacrifices, right?
A
Oh, they would do
lot.
some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were into that a lot.
Yeah. Actually, my grandpa gave me this cool mask too.
Oh, you should at the end of the
Look
episode,
at
you should
that,
put it
dude.
on.
I should, right?
Yeah.
I was going through some of his old stuff and there was like this letter and he said,
I don't think there'll be any repercussions if you put it on either.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think that it's pretty foolproof. It's just like it's like a fun thing.
yeah,
you
well,
know?
at the end of the episode, I'll just pop it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
I
not?
think it'll be fun. We don't want. I don't know if you don't want to get your oils on it yet.
Yeah, I don't want to
Right,
give like
right.
pressure or anything, but I think that it would be. Just like
It's
a
going to be hard to
cool-
talk through. So
Yeah,
I'll put it on.
yeah.
I did think that was it was a very strong opening.
Yeah.
For this, which is why there was the contrast of like, oh, it does not then get even crazier. Like it was the thing of the setup shows you there will be all this crazy stuff, but now like here's this guy.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you hooked me with magic and all this stuff. Like I'm in with a stone mask. I'm in. From the jump.
I like the visuals of like he puts the mask on, he like digs his fingers into
Yes.
like their veins like expand, and he digs his fingers into like the magic veins of their bodies.
Well,
to
I think he's
heal.
like draining. I mean, something happens later where it's a little more clear, but he's actually like draining their blood from them, draining their life source from them. But like you said, the way it happens is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, and because he was like, I'm the chief of this. Like, will you sacrifice your body? And the guy goes, yes, I do. And I'm like, oh, so like, but then he like kicks the guy's body. I'm like, but he was on board for it.
I mean, yeah, he was willing to be there for you, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
don't
that
always
was-
be a yes man.
Yeah, and you don't have to push
Yeah.
everybody away. You know?
Mm.
No, yeah.
Some of us learned that the hard way.
Mhm.
But then it cuts to, so we see this guy and this ruler, and he's granted immortality from this mask. And then it kind of cuts away. And then we see Dio is who we're introduced to first, and his sick dad who is bedridden. And he's kind of coughing. He's like on his way out, and he tells Dio that he has to go to this address and he has to mail this letter and go to the address that the letter is addressed to.
The guy owes him big time.
Guy who's in big time. And then he tells Dio that he doesn't want to tell him about what happened, but then he starts to remember the events of one fateful night, which we're let in like later on to how much of a piece of shit Dio's dad was, but he's
Yeah.
already pretty shitty in
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah,
He's like walking home from a bar with a girl, as you do.
as you do.
As you do. Sees a carriage that's been turned over, and instead of deciding to see if there's any survivors or to help anybody, he immediately just starts like, pillaging the carriage.
Mhm.
And
As you do.
as you do. It's pretty graphic. I mean, there's someone that's like impaled.
Yeah, their face is fucked up.
Yeah.
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 I was like, whoa.
And there's only two survivors actually. There's the mother's dead, the driver's dead, and there's one survivor and a baby. And we find out that the one male survivor is Jonathan's dad. But like Dio's dad is like going around taking rings off of the dead bodies, taking like, his wallet out of his back pocket. And Jonathan's dad comes to life. Or
He's like, oh my God, thank you.
yeah.
He goes, I wish I had my wallet, good sir, so I could
Yeah.
pay you. And he's like, yeah, I wish you did too.
Yeah. Someone came by and stole it.
So I guess someone snatched it already.
Yeah.
Okay, dude.
Yeah. You saved my life. I am eternally indebted to you.
I just wish I had my wallet.
Yeah.
I could give you something.
Yeah. I mean, this guy really lucked out, man. He got real lucky. He
Yeah.
got real lucky.
Yeah.
But he
he got lucky getting stolen from the
no. I mean, Dio's dad got lucky.
Oh, yeah.
He won. He's just a drunk asshole. And
Yeah. The girl's like, aren't you gonna look for? So he's like, no, these people.
But I think
are
even the
But
girl's
also,
like,
she doesn't go looking for people.
No, I think she does look in the carriage, and then she says, "Oh, there's a baby in here, and her, everyone's dead."
But I think even at some point he's like, "What do you think I'm doing? I'm looting the bodies." And she's like, "Makes sense."
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. I get it now.
Yeah, she's no saint either. But yeah, so then we're led in on to why Jonathan's dad owes Dio's dad so much, and as he dies, he tells him to go there, and he goes there, and Dio is going to be taken care of by the Joestars. But before that, we see Irina. We meet poor Irina, cute Irina, poor Irina.
Poor Irina.
Yeah, who's being bullied because she has some doll, and then
Oh my God, bully the little girl for having a doll. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life.
I like too because in manga, these people could be 9 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're already like full grown like bodybuilders, and I'm like, they could be like 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Which would make sense for what they're doing.
Yeah, for sure.
No, I think they are very young because we see a time skip happen later, and so they had to be like 12.
Yeah, it's just a thing of like, oh, that's supposed to be a child.
Oh yeah, but they look like grown men. They just got off work at the coal mine.
Yeah, they're like, let's strip the doll to see if she has all the parts, and I'm like, you are disgusting.
Yeah.
Let her live.
Yeah,
Let Irina live.
Let Irina live, but also,
You got to find out.
people have taken clothes off dolls before. People have.
Yeah.
People?
Yeah, people have. There's nothing down there, in case you guys were wondering.
Interesting.
Yeah. The manufacturer didn't like. We got to make sure we don't leave this out.
Yeah. Some stuff was left out at the factory. But yeah, they're bullying her. And then we see Jonathan. We meet Jonathan for the first time, and we see him come to the rescue. But like he says, he's not doing it to impress her, which maybe he is. But at least he says he's not. He's just trying his best to be a gentleman.
A gentleman wouldn't let the lady be bullied.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And have her doll stripped down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually there to defend the doll.
That's we find that out later.
Yeah. What's interesting though about Jonathan, really quickly, what I do want to say too is that Hirohiko says at the end of this volume, he says that it was very hard for him to write this character Jonathan because he was going to be the first of many, the first of this like lineage. And so what he said about him was that looking back, he realizes that he is like a morally just good person. So in hindsight, he realizes that might be boring because he is sort of reactionary, and he is sort of just like he sort of just like is dealt a bad hand and just sort of receives it. He doesn't really do much about it, at least in the beginning. And so it was very interesting to see. And he also says like he was like, I was kind of figuring him out as I was like figuring myself out and what I wanted to do with this series. They kind of went hand in hand. So it is interesting that while like Dio is definitely the villain, he does have a little more depth, I think, than Jonathan does in the very beginning, at least. And I think that's because he was, it was really hard for him to give him so much character and be this, pillar of righteousness.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah.
That's why it helped for me that he, when he does interfere, he gets beaten up by sort of the opposite of the introduction to most shonen characters.
Yeah.
And then you do see that his naivety is definitely a negative trait.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like another character comes in, I'm like, oh, thank God you're here.
Yeah.
Because it did start to get, because I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, he does have a lot of hope in humanity, whereas Dio's just done with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of Dio, this is around the time, when Jonathan leaves, he leaves a handkerchief that he wipes his nose with, and it says his name.
And that's how that's why they beat him up even more.
Yeah.
Because he gets kicked and he's like, oh, let me. Like, oh, you're a joester, ain't you?
Yeah.
And then
you're a joester, ain't you?
And she even says, like, Irina says, like, they wouldn't have beat you up so bad if you wouldn't have pulled that out. And he's like, but I am a gentleman. You got to respect that.
Gotta respect the gentleman game.
But then Dio shows up. Everybody's favorite character.
Everyone's
Dio shows up.
It was really just like, this guy is just evil. Like there is no reason to do this
from the jump, dude.
From the jump.
He gets out of the carriage, like throws his bag out, Jonathan goes up to him. He's like, "Hey man, nice to meet you. I heard you're gonna be staying here." And then the dog Danny starts barking. He's like, "That's Danny. You want to meet him? He's really smart." And then he's like, "Come here, Danny." And then he just knees the dog.
Bro,
Yeah,
I was
in the
like,
face. Yeah.
Yeah, I was really starting to get to the point where Joe's dad is awful.
Right, because he's like unaware. Like, how can you be that unaware?
yeah, I know.
But maybe Dio's just that smooth.
Well, yeah,
playing
he's
it off.
even like, I mean, if a crazy dog came at me, I'd probably kick it too.
And
And
honestly,
I'm like, that's your son's dog.
yeah, his whole strategy of like him pitting, against Joe. It's like, wouldn't you want the whole situation to be you incognito, so no one would have guessed anything like this would have happened, but yet you do it to one specific person and then act like an angel.
With Dio, he comes from like a really bad, like he's always been shit on. In the anime, there's a scene where he's like playing chess at a bar and he wins the chess match. The guy pays him and then he slams his head into a plate of food. I mean, he's come from a place where he's always shit on. He's always looked down
like
on.
they show that in the manga, but I'm like, I didn't even get the sense that was supposed to redeem, like justify.
Mm-hmm.
It did seem like, that happened to you for sure.
I wouldn't say justify. It's just, like we saw in One Piece, there was a character that was kind of doing the same deal, but he went completely under the radar and continued to try to be under the radar till he was like, everything's working out. Whereas him, he's kind of doing the same thing, but why would you do it just to one person and make it comes from a place of obviously feeling like shit.
He has a lot of pride too. I mean, and he has he's on one level, I see why he's doing it the way he's doing it. I'm not saying I agree with it, Cody.
No, I mean, it wouldn't
defending Dio.
It wouldn't make for a good story if he completely was just Mr. Nice
I also
Guy
think he has motivation to be that way.
To show other, to be better than another person.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about it. It's not to justify, to motivate, but like I still don't like him.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like it's like, oh, but he has a tough upbringing. Like, yeah, I still don't like him.
Yeah.
Like the second he meets Jojo, he's like, I'm gonna psychologically break this guy down.
Yeah, he has.
I'm gonna take everything away from him.
It does come from a place for him having everything. Like Joe has everything. Like his family owns everything. He's very wealthy. He's never had to work a day in his life for anything, pretty much. So that's why he's like, you're the one thing I wish I was, and I fucking hate you.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now. I might have to double check, but I think my ex-girlfriend's last name might have been Brando too. Might have been part of the Brando family. Yeah, because they like to take everything.
I didn't realize that we've been dating the same family.
Wow, you guys dating the same
for
family?
generations? Yeah. Yep, it's called Josh and Cody's Bizarre
and it's a series. And it's like, remember your trust in people that was ruined?
Yeah,
it was me.
Yeah, each part is us dating another part of the Brando family. Yeah. We're gonna work on that. But yes, Jonathan is very, spoiled, and he wants to be a gentleman, and he's got like a good moral code, but he still is, as he will himself learn, he still has a lot of growing to do, like physically and emotionally, but he's also going to be put through the ringer by Dio.
Yeah,
sure.
and that I did like that even Dio just showing up and like being someone that he has to compete with started to have him like be raised even like harsher. Not even, but harsher at all.
Definitely harsh. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like Dio got it perfectly. Yeah, we've all been there.
The comparison, it was funny at some moments. The absurdity of just like him just trying to live his life, and he's like, Dio ate his food perfectly, and you can't even do that. And he's just like, I'm just trying to live.
Yeah,
I mean, he was eating like a slob.
I did feel like sad for him because he was just like, this wasn't a problem before.
It's like your friend that comes over for a sleepover, and they get all the attention from your parents, and you're just like, what about me?
Never had sleepovers.
Never.
No.
They're like a cousin or a family member, and they're like, because they're a guest, so they're getting treated better, and you're like,
never.
Why don't I get this? No?
Nope.
I didn't like when guests. I didn't like when guests would get food. I'm like, we need that food,
Oh my god.
I've literally never had a friend sleep over, or Cody slept over before, but like that was like last week.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Different lives, Megan. Different lives. Like sand through the hourglass.
Yeah, you ever have a friend or a cousin or one of your family that you're incredibly close to?
Yeah.
Or...
Nope.
I like it's
someone will
interesting.
relate.
No, someone will. That's a relatable thing for sure.
This isn't real.
This isn't.
Yeah, you know how little he's had people over? I know, because when I slept over, he didn't even give me a blanket or anything.
Oh,
But that's just because, like, you know,
'cause you're
Cody grew up in a
gentleman?
trailer, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm, again, like, no problem. But just a note.
Yeah, if anybody else would have stayed.
I don't
You get
like
a blanket.
using other people's things. So, yeah, I
get
wouldn't.
it.
Yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
it is interesting because Jojo, he acts like in my head, it's a combination of like Rintin and like the Hardy Boys, the way he behaved. But I don't know if they were also just that kind of character.
Yeah.
But he is still a bodybuilder.
Yeah, jacked for sure. I'm not too familiar with Renton, but the Hardy Boys, very familiar.
Yes.
I could kind of see that, and they get ripped, dude. Especially after this time skip, dude. It's like crazy how jacked they get. But so Dio, Jonathan starts getting picked on a lot, obviously, because Dio's better at him than everything, and he's better than him at fighting too. And he even starts to infiltrate his like friend group, and they have these like boxing matches in the yard,
As one does.
Yeah, and
as one does.
It really was like, man, like, you know, because Dio's like, I'm gonna become friends with his friends, and it's like, yeah, like this is a type of person that would do that.
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've encountered this
I
type.
for sure have encountered a person like this.
Yeah.
They did some very sinister things.
Yeah, and it was, yeah, I really was feeling bad for him because he was like, yeah, we're gonna do a friendly boxing thing, and Dio just like humiliates him and like makes a point to like claw at his eye.
And that was
Aw,
crazy,
That was
too.
crazy.
Like in the manga, just to watch it, like that. I mean, it was graphic. I don't know why. I mean, we've read Berserk and we've seen people like get sliced into a million pieces, but seeing that thumb get jammed in his eye, I was
Because
like,
it's
oh my
more,
God.
it's definitely more relatable.
Yeah.
Like to like, you don't know what that feels like, but you can kind of get an idea instead
Oh,
of
yeah.
getting your guts spilled out. You can kind of get an idea of someone gouging their fucking thumb in your eye
Oh man.
through a fighting match.
Yeah.
And then even Jojo's just such a sweet boy. He's like, did he mean to do that?
Yeah,
Was
he-
that an accident?
He
Yeah.
can't even comprehend what's
going on?
Because
That's
he
the
was
saddest
just like,
part.
I just wanted to be friends with you. Like, what did I do
And
wrong?
yeah,
and why aren't people talking to me anymore?
Even later,
Yeah.
and maybe this is because of how psychologically damaging this all was to him. Even later, like after the time skip, he's even like, did I imagine all that?
No, I
Yeah.
know.
It's just
I-
like, what? I mean, that, you know, victims, that happens, you know,
Well,
sometimes.
yeah. I mean, when you're a kid too, it's like I mean, kids do fucked up stuff, and then you kind of just like move past it, and you're like, oh, we were just kids.
Oh yeah, all those things Dio did. Kids do the darndest
No,
things.
not all the. I mean, in a
Boys
different.
will be
You know what
boys.
I'm saying. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Well, and that was like a part of his character that I thought was interesting because it was like more like emotionally sensitive than I was expecting going in. Because he is like, there is a time skip later where he is just like, I mean, am I being like petty for like holding on to that? Like, it's been long. It's been
Aw.
this many years. Is it wrong for me to still hold him accountable for these things?
Yes. Yes. Because
And-
it's not like he's not doing it
And the,
intentionally.
the answer is yes. Like, this guy is doing it for the meanest reasons.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And not only does he excessively beat him, he proceeds to like turn everybody in the fight against him, and they start calling him like a rat or a snitch or something.
Yeah, like
Snitch.
Yeah.
Like he just finds out he has a reputation for like snitching on people. It's like, I've never snitched ever.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Oh, he's spreading rumors about me." So he's like, he gets more and more aware of what's actually going on as the story progresses.
But
Yeah.
I mean, still, he doesn't really do much about it until later.
Yeah.
But
he really was a sweet boy, and that's
was a
I
sweet boy.
know.
that's what that is why it hurts more seeing him get his eye plucked because I'm like he would never even comprehend doing that to someone. He's just a little. He's just a little.
Yeah.
He would comprehend doing it on accident.
Yeah.
That would be the comprehension.
I'm not saying anything that Dio does.
No,
is
defend
good.
Dio again.
Yeah,
I'm
why
not
don't you
The
defend
Dio
Dio.
Defense Squad.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Dio. I was gonna say
Ideos
Dio
mio.
Decker. Ideos mio.
That's really
that
good.
was really fucking
Really
good.
All I'm
Cody.
saying is
All
that
right, I got
Jonathan wouldn't be the man he is today if Dio wouldn't have shown up and stuck his thumb in his eye.
You're absolutely right, and that is the interesting journey because he probably would have kept being the guy trying to be a gentleman and kept getting his butt kicked. But you do see how it does push him to like work harder. It's not good, but it is an interesting story.
Yeah, I mean, it gets to the point
I mean,
too where
not good in the moral sense.
yeah,
though.
right.
Yeah, just gotta
Yeah.
do that. What did you mean that wasn't good?
yeah, no.
Well, it's just going into his world of, being a rich kid and not really having to fight for anything.
And what's interesting too is like it follows him back to the house. Like Dio's of course not just an asshole in public. He starts taking his shit. He takes a pocket watch from him for no reason.
It's hilarious. It gets honestly so insane how much of an asshole he is to him. And they're just back and forth. He's like, I have your pocket. I'm just borrowing. And he's like, why do you do this to me?
Why?
It really,
brother,
come on,
why?
man, dude,
yeah,
come
he's
on.
just like, give me a break. And he just won't let up.
And I know what that's like, dude. I mean, I was around Jonathan's age when I had another boy move into my house.
Really?
Yeah. No, it was my stepbrother.
Oh.
Yeah, he just liked to take a lot of Advil and show us his penis, but I shared a room with him too.
Advil before he
he
did
would just
that?
take a lot of ibuprofen and Advil, like a lot, and he would just like take his pants off.
Well, what did you do?
I shared a room with him. I had to stare at the wall.
Was that the room that I first?
No, this was in. This was a
okay.
long
Josh?
time ago. Yeah.
The Lord
yeah. He was.
just gets
it
getting
was a lot.
deeper and deeper.
Yeah. But
Wow.
this is where it gets real fucked up. If it already wasn't fucked up enough, but Jonathan can't catch a break. But guess what he does? He falls in love with Arena. Arena starts coming back around because he's like trying to climb a tree. He's like rolling around in the grass. He's like, fuck Dio. And she comes out and she's like trying to.
She hangs up a fruit basket and like runs with him. Like that is so cute.
Cute. And then they start like seeing each other and he falls in love. And they're out on their dates. They're getting closer. He carves their name in a tree. And of course we know that this isn't going to end well.
No.
There was a tension in these stories. Every time anything good was going for Jojo.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how is Dio going to ruin his life?
Yeah. How
Yes.
is he gonna?
And
How's
I
he gonna get in this one?
didn't expect what happened.
Ugh.
I kind of did. Thankfully, it was already pretty bad, but thankfully it didn't go farther than it went. But I think Arena for all she couldn't do much, but for what she did do, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was,
Oh
it-
yeah.
it was-
Put him
I-
in his place a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
And then he beats her after that.
Yeah,
Which
so-
was another.
Yeah, he sees them together, and as she's walking away, like Dio grabs her and kisses her with the logic that he will be the first man she's ever kissed.
And in the anime, it's literally so funny. I laughed out loud because he kisses her and it's like a guitar, like electric guitar riff. It's like,
Is that like the Dio riff?
yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
and then the guys are like, he did it. He actually did it. If I was as much as a man as him, I would be getting away
Yeah.
with all this stuff. And it's like, bro.
in the manga, it was crazy. He grabbed her by the hair, and it was
Yeah,
It was like really just malicious and mean. He's like, and now you won't have it with your boyfriend.
Yeah,
And
now
I-
you're my first. Your first kiss is me.
And then
Yeah.
she pulls a boss move for sure.
a boss move, dude.
move.
She starts grabbing mud from the floor and just like shoveling it into her mouth.
She's
dude.
crying.
Yeah.
I like that because it was like, well, now like it was like, oh, cool, because now her first kiss with Jojo will not be one that had mud in it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I like it was like the goons in the back, like, well, even if you didn't like him kissing, why would you eat mud?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they didn't get what
Yeah.
she was like.
They're
The,
like,
the
she's
message
eating
she was
sewage
sending.
water.
Yeah, they're like,
There's
I really
a
don't
river.
get it.
There's a river right over there.
Yeah.
You dumb
If
bro.
you're thirsty,
Yeah,
there's a
like-
river. Yeah.
You trying to wash? It's not.
We-
It's like it's not about washing her mouth.
Yeah.
When she's sending.
I wish I could get a kiss from Dio.
Yeah, I
They
bet.
all love him.
I'll bet.
They all love him. Can you kiss me next, Dio?
Yeah, you could be the first man I kiss.
That'll really show
That'll
Jojo.
really hate Jojo. Will hate you after that.
Ooh, Jojo would have just. Ooh,
He would hate
It would
that
crush
one.
him.
Oh my
It would
god.
crush him, wouldn't it?
And then we get a little bit of backstory about Jonathan and
Oh my
Danny,
God.
and it's a real sweet story. But
Oh
you
my God,
know-
okay.
You know why it exists? Because
Literally.
something bad's gonna happen.
Literally, I honestly, I didn't really see it from far away. I literally wrote, Danny is so cute.
Danny was very cute.
Danny,
Danny was very cute.
oh my God.
Because he mentioned it like right before Dio kicked the dog, which is like I got that after like he was like in the middle of explaining how important that dog was.
Yeah, but
to
they're
him.
on the patio because they see Jonathan
I
and Danny
know,
playing in the
yeah.
yard,
Wow.
and they're all like sipping tea on the
Yeah.
patio. And he's like, "Yeah, actually, you know how Danny actually came to this house? Tells him this whole story about how he didn't like Jonathan, didn't like him, and they used to fight all the time. That Jonathan used to throw rocks at him.
That Danny used to bite him.
Danny used to bite him,
Classic boy and his dog,
and
you know?
then he fell into the river, and Danny saved him. And then after that, they became friends. They were attached at the hip.
And he's like, friends with a dog.
yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
gross.
And
Yeah,
he got the
friends.
dog
yeah.
after the mom died.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was that even more to it. Like, oh, this dog was to help with my emotional.
And
Yeah.
that the dad gave him the dog because he wasn't like making any friends with anybody.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, I mean, come on, dude.
Oh my god.
So we get that little gem, that little beautiful
And I'm
piece
like,
of
oh,
backstory.
cool. So the dog's gonna be a main character.
Oh, I can't wait. I really can't
And
wait.
Dio's just like, ooh, I got more japes and hijinks to plan here.
Good God.
And
I thought he was bad. I knew he was bad guy. I just didn't think it would
Yeah, I don't
get
think you
to
could
this
have
point.
predicted what would happen.
This is another gasp moment. I was shocked.
I gasped. Yes.
I was shocked
Yes.
at the way it happened. It's pure evil. Like, that's
is.
evil. Like,
But-
you can do whatever. You can, punch people, call people,
You can kick the dog.
You can kick the dog. And
Before, I mean, you still shouldn't.
You
but
shouldn't?
before you do, never do the other thing.
No.
Ever.
Yeah, it's
No.
definitely
Never kick a dog either.
There
but
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
no.
but I'm
if
just
it's
saying.
if it's gonna attack you, then you might want to stand up
Well.
for yourself. But if it's not attacking you, like in sense, Danny boy,
yeah,
good old
Danny's a
Danny
sweet
boy.
dog.
Danny's a sweet boy.
But before even that happens, like the reason I think it happens is because Dio and Jonathan get into a fight because Jonathan finds out about what happened to Irina, and this was a really
and that
cool
was
moment.
a sad bit too, where she's like avoiding him because because she can't tell him what's wrong, and she's worried how he'll react, and like, oh, she won't.
And
like,
he feels awkward about it too.
yeah, why isn't she talking to me? What happened?
He's
and it was a
pissed.
very it's very real.
Yeah.
I know.
Emotionally.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're kids.
Yeah.
Well, I
and-
mean, I don't know how old he is at this
no,
point.
they're super young.
They're just 6'5", muscle bound
Not yet.
children.
Yeah, I mean they were still pretty jacked when they were kids.
Yeah.
But he finds out and he gets mad, and then Dio thinks he has the upper hand. He's like, "Come at me, do whatever, do your worst."
Because he beat him
In the-
twice
yeah,
already.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and because Jonathan has all this rage built up from everything that happened and has been happening, he sort of levels up and starts taking it all out on him and gets the upper hand.
Yeah.
Starts beating the shit out
He
of
beats
Dio.
the shit
So
out of
much
him.
catharsis.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, I'm not going to stop until you cry, which I
Yeah.
thought was so funny. It's like, not till you pass out, not till you just tell me to stop, like till you cry.
Yeah,
Which is to yell at a full grown man would mess with him also.
I'm going to
That's
do
a
this till
line
you
you
cry.
should use.
yeah.
I'm gonna beat you till you cry. And you're like, oh no.
Yeah,
That's the ultimate
it was intimidating, dude.
Yeah.
ultimate thing right there.
That
And
is-
I didn't think when I was reading it too, just because of like what we've seen of Dio, I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think that you could get him to cry.
And then I was like,
But-
cry,
But he
bitch,
does.
But he
cry.
does,
It's
yeah.
so
And that-
satisfying.
So far, this story is really good at like building up that emotional tension,
Mhm.
and then like you get those moments where yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like I want.
But again, I
want that.
don't know if I believe it to be true.
I don't know if
he
it was
is
really
a
there.
sociopath.
Yeah, because what immediately happens after, because it kind of gets undermined by the fact that Jonathan's dad saw everything happen, and to him it looked like he was just beating. He's like, I know boys will be boys and boys fight, but it looked like you were just beating him defenseless when he was defenseless.
It's
So I think maybe Dio was playing it up a little bit.
of
okay,
course.
Maybe.
That's probably what he did, or he tried to play it off like that's what he was doing. He's like, no, I'm. and he looks back at Jojo. See, I didn't. You didn't even make me cry.
Yeah.
I've used my.
I did it
super
for the
acting.
con.
Yeah, the long con.
Yeah, the long con. Fuck.
Yeah, for a while I was like against the dad.
Yeah.
And it is like I get that like Jojo doesn't feel like he can tell and he doesn't really
Mhm.
understand what's happening. That's not I just like, I don't like that it's happening.
Yeah.
And he does get a moment later on. I'm like, all right, yeah,
I agree.
go Joe
Yeah.
dad.
Gojo dad.
Go, Mr. Joestar.
Mr. Joestar.
Mr. Joestar. And during this fight too, they notice the mask, and I think someone's blood gets on the mask.
Dio's
Dio's.
mask.
Dio-
I mean, Dio's mask. Dio's
Yeah.
blood gets
Yeah,
on it.
because Jojo is just wailing into him.
And we see kind of what we saw at the very beginning, but we see the claws come out of it.
Mhm.
But it's not being worn by anybody. It's just on the floor, and Jonathan notices it.
Yeah, that's why it's interesting that your grandpa just had a mask similar to that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. It does look a little different, so it can't be the same thing. But we'll
It's
find out
very
at the end of the
similar,
episode.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, after you clean those knives that you have, that's what you should you should do it afterwards after you finish cleaning the knives.
Oh,
I know you cut yourself a lot when you do that,
Yeah,
but-
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should try to not get blood on it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because if you
Right.
don't finish the knives first,
Right. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. I'll make sure. We'll try it. We'll see what happens. What could happen?
yeah,
What could go wrong?
I pre-clean them so they're covered in soap.
Ah.
But
Oh.
I'll
slippery.
remind you to get the soap off.
Just,
Oh,
just
okay.
remind me.
slip.
Just remind me.
Yeah.
But it's after that they notice the mask, and then it's after that the incident. happens.
And because I was like, all right, Joe, your troubles are behind you.
Things are looking up,
You stood up
Joe.
for yourself. You won.
It was
You
rough
beat
that
him.
it happened, but it did turn you into a man. You did find that rage inside you that gave you the passion to fight back.
For the one you love.
And I don't know why all these other pages are here because the story's over.
Story's done.
You're gonna
And it
marry
cuts-
that girl, and everything's gonna be great.
It cuts to like one of the servants of the house, like, and he's just like, minding his own business. He's just like, all right, just taking the trash out. And he's taking the trash to be burned in the furnace. And he sees a box in the furnace. And to be fair, like, this would like happen because he does notice the box and he
He's
goes
like,
like,
oh,
huh,
someone threw a box.
I guess one of the other servants put it in here. Like someone who's just doing their job would just think that.
I honestly thought it was a human body.
Yeah,
Really?
no,
Yeah.
at first it seemed a little.
I thought because all I knew was the generational thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, did he kill Jojo?
And now we're going to get the next one.
Yeah, like already.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was
Megan-
equally bad.
What
happened.
was in the box, Megs?
Yeah, what was in there?
Danny.
Danny was in there? Yeah.
It was a Danny box.
Did he survive? Did he live? He didn't, did he? No, he died.
Danny didn't die. Danny
And
didn't
the
live.
way they were
Danny
like
did die.
explaining it,
Yeah.
like how he was just tied up in that box.
I know.
and
It's
his,
rough, man.
his legs
was-
and his mouth.
That wasn't a dog pun. Now's the time for
Yeah,
jokes.
get that in there. Gotta squeeze that one in there. Yeah. You never let the opportunity pass up, man.
It was rough. And even the servant
the
guy, the butler was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I mean, they went into
And they
graphic detail
showed
explaining
it,
it. yeah.
and it was just too late. It was
Yeah.
too late. It was,
And the fact that he was like, and I'm sorry, but the fact that the dog was still kind of alive and he was like running around for a little bit. I mean, that's solidified. I mean, you cannot come back from that.
no.
Yeah.
I don't
No.
think that the author wants him to.
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no.
I have no idea where it would go. But that was definitely the thing of like, okay, he is not a misguided child.
No.
No, he is he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
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 That well, he does go through the serial killer route, right? You start with
Mhm.
animals, you work your way. They have like a whole thing. Like, it's probably a robber who like wanted to get rid of the guard dog.
Yeah.
Believable as a theory. Definitely not that the kid
But
you
did they
took in.
steal anything?
I
No.
mean, yeah, that was a little far reaching for them to just assume like that someone broke in or whatever. I mean, there was a reason that I guess Dio was at school and had been at school all day. Like however he did it well, I guess. I mean, he did it.
Yeah, props to Dio.
No,
You
that's
gotta
not
make
what
sure
I'm
you
saying.
give credit where credit's due.
That's not what I'm saying.
Which is even worse because he did it before he went to school and the dog's been in the fucking box for like a day and a half.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all,
so sad.
It's horrible. Just kill the dog and then put him in the box and then, I don't know where the dog went. But he wanted the satisfaction of Joe knowing that his dog got burned alive.
It was bad. And they had a little funeral for him, and it was so sad. And then after that, there's a little time skip. Actually,
7.
I don't know if this is going to come into be relevant later, but when Jonathan found out, he saw a black crow that was like on a tree branch. I don't know if you guys remember that, as if it was like an omen, and he saw it as an omen, and he was like, "Get out of here, because you're like a."
Oh, yeah,
bad
he
omen."
like show his butt to it.
I think he like maybe threw a rock, showed his butt, same thing. I just don't know if that's going to become a relevant thing later, or if that's just like synonymous, like a white owl with a bad omen. But anyway, yeah. Then the time skip.
Yeah, the white owl that's on that mask.
There's one inscribed in the back of the mask though. Harmless. Then there's the time skip, and the time skip starts with just Jack the Ripper, like showing us a little bit of Jack the Ripper.
And Cody loves Jack the Ripper.
His biggest fan.
Yeah.
It's pretty absurd how it was like he killed like 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, is that not enough for you? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, freaking psycho.
To be a
you
legend?
fucking psycho.
Psycho, you freaking
Wow.
psychopath. You
Wow.
like your psycho.
He is Jack the Ripper. He killed 5 people.
That was a lot back then, dude. You
You
gotta
know-
think about inflation.
Well, like it's no senator. Those people,
Oh boy, yeah, we gotta move on.
those people kill.
We gotta
way
move
more.
on. But
It's,
then
it's Jack the Senator. That's who I'm
All
afraid
right,
of.
and
Jack the
welcome
Senator.
to
I lost the accent.
yeah,
Yeah.
good. And then we cut to Danny, not Danny. Then we
Oh,
cut to
stop.
sorry. Then we cut to Jonathan.
Well, Danny
and
was
Dio.
cut up. Not we
All
don't cut
right, all right. We cut to Jonathan and Dio, and they're playing rugby.
Rugby.
And it seems as if at least to everybody involved or on the sidelines, that they're friends.
Which, was amazing. I was like, huh?
Well, I think
the interesting thing is they do make a good team.
Yeah, they do. And I think
I don't even know if at that point Dio was like, I'm going to be a good teammate to mess with. Well, actually, it was.
That was exactly it.
Well, no, I
That
think
was
what
exactly
it is, because
it.
it seems like as time has passed that they don't have as much of like a public rivalry anymore. Because what I think is like Dio shows up, he establishes himself as the alpha, right? And then once he's established himself, then he's like, all right, now we're gonna play it cool for a little while, but just know that I'm gonna get you.
And I think that's part of it too, is to make it look like to the outside that they have no issues.
Mm-hmm.
I thought for a bit, like how Jojo was thinking, that like it's been all those years and I don't know anything else that's happened since.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if like Dio did have a moment like, oh, that was too far. That especially with them like working good together, that's where I thought it was going.
Yeah, and then literally like the next panel is just like, that fool, you think we're friends? What a freaking idiot. He really thinks that, no, I'm still doing everything I'm doing, and he doesn't even know that I'm still telling everyone these things. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, and that's when the Joe got that whole thing like, what am I being too petty for like holding him accountable for it?
Am I misremembering things too? I mean, he even goes that far.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very sad.
And then you do. It was like vague what happened, and they do think of some robber did it, which could have happened, and
just the fact that he didn't even think, like the fact that he couldn't even comprehend that he did that. Like it's like
it's so sad. But we also find out that Jonathan's dad is now sick. And
he's grown
which I
poorly.
think he has.
Yes. I think
COVID.
Oh, whoa.
Just saying.
My God.
Listen to the symptoms.
I mean,
listen to the symptoms.
I mean, it becomes a little more clear later on why he's sick. But you think maybe
I'm just
Megan, was this a joke that you were setting up? Megan told us before we started recording that she had a joke that she wanted to just insert into the podcast. Was this the joke?
No.
Yeah, he was being force fed 5Gs.
Yes.
They were slipping it into his tea.
They were slipping it into his tea. Someone was slipping something in. That's all I got to say. It sounded wrong.
What did you?
That sounded wrong.
For the record, we got that disease. We're not.
Oh yeah, we all did get it, and we're not going to say who we got it from. Moving on.
It was not me or Megan.
Or me. So yes. So Jonathan is actually going through all his stuff because he's studying to be an architect. He's going through all of his books, and he finds the note that Dio's dad gave his dad. Yeah. What were you going to say? I mean,
I like that being an archaeologist, you can say, you can see how that's going to lead to be like the connection between like these artifacts and stuff.
Yeah. Because he's studying the mask and he still can't really figure it out. He's like, why does this do this? He's just taking notes on it. It's been like, years of work, him just studying this thing.
Yeah.
And then he does find the letters.
Which is the most damning evidence of all, because in that letter, Dio's dad has the same symptoms that his dad has. So he puts two and two together and he's like, Dio, I thought you were a nice guy.
And finally, he really needed facts. Because he even says that he's like, I can't look at him in the eye because I have no facts no proof to back up all the bad things he's done. So I'm just going to see how it goes.
It was a good moment for me for like, because one, it does show that he is like, he is pretty smart.
Yeah.
He just has a hard time understanding like evil motives like that.
Yeah.
So like he did immediately connect the dots. And like, yes, finally you got it.
Seriously.
Yeah. And he's a good guy. He's not gonna just jump to conclusions, but he is smart enough to realize it, but he's gonna make sure he has evidence before he does bring it up to Dio. He's like, I'm gonna find out what's going on, because he confronts Dio, and Dio's actually giving his dad medicine. And so he tells his dad, they have their interaction, and I think Dio falls off the staircase. They fight.
Drama queen.
Yeah, the drama queens.
Jesus.
And I do like now that like in a fight, Joe wins.
I mean, they're both, by the way, so jacked, man. They're huge.
And they're moving pretty
proportions.
Yeah,
his like little head and his big body.
In the interview at the end of the first volume, the mangaka said that he was like a huge fan of karate manga. That he like. So I mean, I'm sure he got some of the poses. And
of course,
it was imagining Arnold in the role of Joe.
Oh, he even says that.
Oh,
yes. Yeah, I'll pull it over the end.
Because there's a movie called Twins, and in that one, the thing is there's two twins, right?
Yes.
Arnold and then Danny DeVito.
Uh-huh.
But so in the beginning, the premise is Arnold is like the good genetic twin, which I mean that's rough to be told you're going to be the bad genetic twin.
He made a lot of money from it,
Love Danny DeVito, by the way. But he said when this part was originally being serialized, it was the era of muscles on the silver screen. Guys like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. Schwarzenegger, for example, could never be stopped by any amount of gunfire, right? So yeah.
So it'd be like
in
I'll be Joe Star.
Maybe he could have been cast in a different time,
and then
different universe.
Sylvester's like,
it was me, dude.
Yeah, that was really good. Cody,
that was way better than what I could have
You
done.
don't have a lot, but the ones you do have.
That was very good.
Yes, I'll take that. But there is a movie where he like dresses up prim and proper like that for his character, and the whole thing is he's very naive and doesn't get it. But people like try to like mug him, and he doesn't even get that's what they're doing because they try to like steal something from him, and he's like, "Oh, did you trip and fall?"
Yeah, wait. Somebody. If it doesn't exist already, somebody needs to do a deep fake.
The movie
Arnold
Twins, by the
and,
way, has
yeah.
one of the funniest endings. I laughed for like 5 minutes at it. It comes out of nowhere.
Do
I
they
haven't
end up
seen it.
not
Don't
being
spoil
twins?
it, dude.
Uh,
Don't spoil it, dude. I haven't seen it.
no.
Wait, really?
Don't give it away.
I'm not
Cody.
going to
No,
tell you the
okay.
ending.
Don't
Yeah.
give
It
it away.
is so. I thought it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
I
But
gotta
have you
watch
seen
it.
Jack and Jill?
Oh my God,
God.
Megan, no. Jesus Christ. So yeah, he also tells everybody in the room that his dad's in. He's like, don't take any medicine unless it's from these doctors. Like,
And
he
I
brings doctors in.
was fully expecting the dad to
Me
go.
too.
But
Shut up,
your
John.
beloved brother Dio has provided me all the medicine I could need.
Yeah. This is your problem, Jonathan.
I like how the butler's like personally hurt.
Yeah,
He's
like,
like,
was
you
I
don't
not-
trust us. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Was
shut
I not
up.
doing a good job?
You
Yeah.
burnt the dog.
First of all, you let a dog. Yeah.
I mean, well, that wasn't his fault.
I'm
Guys,
just kidding. He just like it's a thing among the butlers and the maids are just like, at least we didn't burn the dog, right?
yeah.
Oh God, I wonder
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he's feeling.
We also get a.
Yeah, I mean that would be great to have the guy who messed up the hardest.
Yeah, constantly
mean,
everyone's giving him shit. They're
poor
like,
guy, dude.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm glad they-
did you refill the dog bowl? Oh wait.
Oh,
I'm glad they kept him around. Though. I'm glad they didn't fire him.
Oh yeah,
it
I
is-
know. It wasn't
yeah,
his
and
fault.
I did like that was I was worried about how I was gonna feel about Jojo's dad. But he gets in the motor. He's like, I trust my son.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
does.
mean, he is on his deathbed.
Yeah.
So he's
Well, I
like-
mean, yeah.
At
but-
that point, I was
He's
expecting
kinda
him
just
to be like, but Dio, because he was like, Dio's better than you and everything.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. And he didn't even get like an affectionate vibe from him anymore.
Well, I mean, they're grown. They're more grown now. I mean, he's more established, I guess, because they do mention that he is like very well in the architectural, archaeologist.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
archaeologist
very
world.
well into the
he's
archaeology.
very well in it. He's very
Shut
well.
up.
Yeah.
He's very well
He's
known.
very
in,
well into the archaeology.
He
Ma, have
does-
you heard of my son Joey? He's very
He actually is. Though.
he's very well into the
No, it's
archaeology.
more, you're
Quite well, actually.
quite
Doing
well.
quite well.
Yeah.
It's more prim and proper.
More prim and
isn't
proper,
it?
softer.
Softer.
But yeah, I
Softer.
mean, it's
Doctor.
enough time's gone by, and yeah, I
Doctor.
think he does.
Doctor.
You know how to get me. He does trust him now, and it was a really cool moment for his dad,
He pulls
especially
up,
after everything that happened. I have 5 sonic screwdrivers in my coat.
you should
Oh,
have.
you do look like the doctor
thanks,
today,
dude.
don't you? You were
Doctor?
waiting for that, weren't you?
I'm-
You were waiting for that. He
I'm
was totally waiting
Jonathan
for-
Joestar.
He was totally waiting
Well,
for us to call him the doctor.
Jonathan Joestar could be a doctor
There
too.
is
though.
an
Dude, you
interesting
are doing a
thing.
good cosplay
Because
today.
the premises are kind of similar from what I know, but instead, like he's like essentially generational. Like yeah, it is. It's
Instead of-
generational instead of
instead of
regenerational.
Instead of regenerational. God damn it. I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Doctor, it was Dio.
All right.
and if you
I'll
look
ma-
at Dio, then you can.
And if we grab Dio,
All right. We're going to keep
we
moving
go
on.
back in time.
If you go back. In
All right. All right. All
5
right.
minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
So we get like a flashback to where Dio got the medicine from. He got it from it's Eastern medicine that he got from a shady dealer on Ogre Street. And
Don't go down Ogre
don't
Street.
go down Ogre
dude.
Street.
Don't
Yeah.
go down
We got a
Ogre
horrible name for a street.
Street.
Yeah, you can guess what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
down
that's
there.
like Crime Alley from Batman.
so silly.
What
But
do you-
then he notices he's a fortune teller too, and he notices that Dio has these 3 moles on his ear,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently that is a telling sign that this. I forget
That he's
exactly what he
evil?
says, but no, that he's going
he's
to
cursed. or
that he has like a chaotic fortune or something. He says something to that effect. Like you're not
Which-
gonna have a Your life's going to be crazy.
In fiction, you believe that to be foreshadowing, right? But in the real world, that fortune teller tells that to everyone.
Mhm.
Yeah, in the real world. Yeah.
They go like, oh, you're special.
Yeah. But only I can tell you how. Yeah.
Oh, I did. Yeah. For a second, I thought like, why? Like, his Jojo was like, don't take any medicine from anyone besides the doctor. I have to go now on vacation.
Yeah.
And for a second, I was like, Joe,
why are you leaving?
But he was like, to find the cure. I'm like, all right, cool. I was worried for a second.
So Joe, why the fuck are you leaving?
But he's on a mission, dude. I mean, he goes to Ogre
He's on a
Street
musical mission.
and he goes to find this medicine. And when he gets there, it's a bad place. Dio even hears that he leaves and where he's going. He's like, he's not coming back.
Yeah, he's like, he's dead or almost dead.
And if he's not dead, he's planning on killing him with the mask. That's his
'Cause
grand plan.
he found it and from his grandpa, which is interesting.
Oh, well, I don't think it's important where he got his from, but I got mine from, I found it in my
Your
grandpa's.
abuelo.
In your grandpa's chest, yes.
Yeah.
Abuelo.
My abuelo.
It was
thank
weird
you.
how
Yeah.
ravens kept hanging around your old grandfather's estate, by the way.
Yeah, it was really odd.
Did he used to feed
like
them?
you, loved birds.
Yeah, I didn't know your grandfather was so much into
I
birds.
expected a little
And
less judgment
he
from
taught
you.
them to speak or something, right? They just kept
The
saying "get out."
aviator.
Is that why he kept yelling at them to get out of the aviary? Because they kept saying "get out, leave."
Well, because he wanted them to fly.
Oh, that's what he would say in the morning, so they could fly.
Like spread your wings. It was supposed to be inspirational.
Oh, okay. I mean, the dialect probably got lost in translation.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I don't like you talking bad about him, dude. I loved him. Still do. But he goes there and he plans on, because it's like, it's going to be a perfect crime. He's going to get some blood on it, put it on Jonathan. They're going to realize, oh, he was just fooling around with his mask and this happened. No,
foul play.
yeah, no, there's going to be no evidence leading it back to him, tracing it back to him. But while Jonathan's on Ogre Street, I guess, he's confronted by these like two or three goons, one of which has like a bowler cap on where blades come out of it, and he whips it around. And this is like
Job?
a little bit like Odd Job from Austin Powers, right?
No, that's Random Task.
But he's a parody of Odd Job, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think he is though.
Yeah. What's funny is Random Task actor did horrible things in real life. Well, it's not funny. It's interesting
Yeah.
how the parody actor did
Right.
horrible things, and the villain actor was like, as far as I know, didn't know.
And I like this guy a lot.
He was arrested.
We're glad we got to the bottom of that. I like this guy a lot. I like this character a lot. I think he's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and I had to go back because I'm like, oh, was he like did I miss like an introduction earlier?
Mhm.
Because he was like, it's me, I'm REO Speedwagon. I'm like, I have heard that name.
Yes. I am not the biggest fan of music, but it is a band.
It's me, REO Speedwagon.
I'm not a huge fan of music, which I was thinking today on our
Megan.
on our Patreon exclusive episode. If you want to, listen to our Patreon.
Oh, I guess they'd have to subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, which you can do it going to patreon.com/FlyWild.
It's so easy.
I was thinking because we're talking about JoJo that we could talk about some of our favorite music.
Oh, and won't that be fun for all of our listeners? Or
Yeah, you're gonna want to hear. I mean, I think you'll be not super surprised by me and Megan's taste in music, but very surprised in Mr. Decker's.
Or I mean, it's eclectic.
Oh boy,
I don't know what that word means, by the way.
Oh,
I think it fits. I think
That's how I operate with a lot of language.
Yeah,
Like,
context clues. Yeah.
I was impressed by how little it took for me to be on board for that character.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like a charming guy. He's cool. Jonathan, in the author's defense, he does acknowledge this, but he has a moment where we're supposed to feel as if he is just this really pillar of righteousness. He gets he lets the blade of this bowler cap
Catches it.
yeah, and then he lets it go into his arm.
Yeah.
And it digs deep into his arm, and the bowler hat guy, REO Speedwagon guy, he realizes that all the other guys that Jonathan took out, he didn't kill any of them, and he just disarmed them. He just took
he's
them
like,
out.
you could have kicked me hard enough to take me out
Mhm.
with those tree trunk legs, which I think he said.
Yeah, he does say, yeah.
You think you can handle these trunk legs I
Yeah.
got there?
And so he decides that he's a good guy and that there is some good in the world.
I love
guess,
that
and people.
part.
Yeah.
All the mob is there, and he's like, "Stop! This man is good.
Yeah. I like this guy.
I like this guy. Don't mess with him."
This is a good man.
Yeah, it's so funny. And he's like, "What is your journey, son?" And he's like, "I need to help my dad." And it's a funny scene.
And meanwhile, Dio's going through it. on a different side of town. I think by the port town. And he's going through it. He's getting drunk. He's on a bender.
Yeah, he's like, I hate how I'm like my old man. I can't get enough of this shit.
I mean, it's generational, dude. You know what I mean?
It is.
Why'd you look at me?
Because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only do it when I'm alone, though, which is often.
Even sadder. And
Even sadder. Even sadder.
Yeah.
Some would argue.
Some would argue. But he gets into his own interaction. He's trying to he's like, I guess before I use the mask, I should do a test on it. I should test it out.
Yeah. Very, very logical.
Very logical.
Yeah.
Very logical.
Because he wants to use it to kill Jojo.
Yeah, he wants to, yeah.
I think for poetic reasons.
Well, I mean, it's not going to be tied back to him in any way.
Oh, yeah.
Because people are going to think he was just messing with the mask, and that happened.
So he's like, I need to make sure it does kill him.
Yeah.
Because that would be bad.
But yeah, because we know that this mask does some funky stuff, but he views it as a thing you can use to kill people.
Yeah, because they've both seen the things come out of the back. And
right.
They don't know if it's supernatural power.
It is like, oh, if you put blood on it, it sets off a trap. That's it. That's all he's operating under.
Which already would give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm assuming that one doesn't do that.
He thinks it's like a face snatcher type of deal.
Yeah. And so he finds a
face stabber.
He finds another drunk guy wandering around town, and he's just he gets in a fight with him, and he just puts the mask on him. Gets blood all over it.
Becomes the mask.
I wish. I love that movie. Favorite Jim Carrey movie of all time.
Somebody stop me.
Yeah, Party. Because it's Jojo.
Because it's Jojo.
Yeah.
Great. Great.
Absolutely.
He thinks he kills him. He thinks that putting the mask on him because the spikes come out.
Yeah, and he also I think he punches him or something.
Oh yeah, I mean he beats the shit out of two of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he thinks it kills him, and he's sort of walking away. He's like, well, I guess I got to the bottom of that.
All right, it absolutely works.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
I'm gonna use this to kill Jojo.
Sweet.
Score.
Yeah. Everything's turning around.
Yeah, everything's coming up Dio.
Yeah, everything's coming up Dio.
Yeah. And then he's walking away, and the guy gets back up, and now this guy, who he thought and was sure was dead, not only is getting up and walking around, but when he comes at him, he uses a blade to slice through his hand.
That was
and the hand continues to punch past him and into a wall,
and it
gets mangled.
It crumbles at the wall kind of, and the wall just explodes.
Yes.
Explode. And that at this point I was like, so it just gives you superhuman strength. Okay, I get it. And then it just keeps continuing to be
bizarre.
And I was all here for it.
The guy gets up and goes over to the other guy, or even goes up to Dio too, I think, and starts draining that same creepy way. Starts draining his blood, and then the guy, he's like, oh my God, that guy looks great, dude. He's getting younger.
Oh yeah. He's just beautiful now.
Yeah. And this is where I knew.
This
the
is
blood.
Where you knew? Yes.
The young. The strength.
The mask has fangs on it.
The mask has fangs.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah.
It's just a little bit like this one.
Yeah. Here we go. Vampires.
Yes. And
yes.
a really
yes.
And a really cool take. Yeah.
I didn't get the vampire vibe at all until Dio defeats him.
Oh yeah. But I mean, this is a really cool vampire, I think. It's it's not that far off, but I mean, it is cool.
Yeah.
It's a little twist. And I love that. I love when any story does that.
Because again, the issue with vampires in any media is there's never any real reason everyone wouldn't be a vampire.
Exactly, dude. People act like they don't want to be, but they would be.
It would be a thing where people would just charge to infect you with vampirism. That would be the biggest issue.
Yeah. Zero consequences, dude.
And it's we have to drink the blood of animals, I guess, to stave off the hunger. And everyone would be like, okay, we'll do that.
All right, fine. I already eat steak.
Yeah, we do. We eat animals.
Medium rare. You know what I mean?
But you wouldn't be able to eat anything.
Except for
would you eat stuff?
You're telling me I'd have to go on a liquid diet? No problem.
Yeah.
So you'd give up food forever?
Yes, I've already made that decision.
Really?
For eternal life?
Are you kidding? See, that's the thing.
You wouldn't be able to taste anything ever again.
You'll be able to gain for eternity?
I'll get to live 100 years into the future? Yeah. I'll get to live 100.
I guess we have VR now.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I get to live for 100 years in the future. I get to see the progress of humanity. I get to see it all. I get to be a passenger. And then, people around me die, sure, but that could happen anyway.
But I mean, you could die anytime.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, with the defense of you'll never be able to taste anything, that will not be an obstacle for anyone if they're actually given the choice. You won't be able to eat gummy bears ever. You'd be like, all right.
And I can still eat them. I just can't taste them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Which there was a weirdly poetic moment Dio has where he's like, oh, I don't want this to be the last sunset I ever see. It's like he's like being choked, and he's like, oh no, but the sunsets of
I can't go out like this. And then the sun takes out the guy, and then it's for sure
the sunlight just vaporizes any part exposed to, which I also liked because I do not like when they're just
flames. They're just
they'll either go like, oh, actually we're not vulnerable to sunlight. Or it's like, it burns a little.
Yeah, there are some that burst into flames, and then there's some that are like, I gotta get in the shade. You know, it's like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
My moon meter is draining. I have to.
Yeah, let's lock down the rules on vampires. And after that, I think he just goes back to the manor. He goes back to the Joestar Manor, and Jonathan's waiting for him like a weirdo in the dark with the candle. He's also very badass.
I was a little unclear on how long travel time and stuff was. It's not a huge deal, but I don't even think there was like a 3 days later mark.
Yeah. I think he came back early because I think he got it done in.
Well, I think that guy.
Well, yeah, Joe just needed the antidote.
Yeah, the bowler hat guy took him to where he needed to go. Found the guy, found the Mr. Speedwagon, and found the antidote, found the guy, and brought them both back with him to the manor.
I like that part where he's just like, Dio's expecting to deal with Joe again. He's like, I can deal with this guy, and he goes, hello.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you that you're an asshole.
Yeah,
there was the build up where I was like, because Joe's like, I have the evidence, I'm taking you to jail, and Diogo's like, allow me to turn myself in.
Of course.
And I was like, Jojo, for the love of God, do not fall for this again. And I feel like he would have if it wasn't for Speedwagon coming in like, don't trust that man.
Yeah,
he definitely
he's
would
doing the waterworks, doing the whole nine. Like, I'm so sorry I treated all of you best. Like, And even
like,
Joe's like, maybe.
Yeah, he's like, I want to. That's why I came back.
Oh
was
my God.
was to turn myself in.
I could have left.
And yeah, Jojo absolutely would have fallen for it. And then Ario just come in and be like, he's manipulating you. And I'm like, yeah, this is why it was that helped a lot because like, oh, for sure it was. Jojo was just that naive.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was intentional on the writing's part.
Yeah.
It was a flaw he has.
Yes, yes. And I think it's even still a flaw because Dio tries to see how far he can take it and says like, okay, all right, you can arrest me, but I want you to do it.
Why don't you do it? And just approach me.
Yeah.
Come close to hand's reach.
Which means, by the way, he
Arm's
still
reach.
intends to use it as a weapon.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He didn't. He saw all of that, and he's like, "This will get him for sure."
But then he kind of figures,
Well, I think he sees the power too a little bit.
Yeah,
he
he's
sees
like,
the power.
should I just use this on him? Because then maybe he'll be able to take me out.
And at the last minute, he reveals that he's under his sling is hiding the mask and he's hiding the blade.
I think Speedwagon points it out.
But it's a little too late though.
Oh yeah.
And he like gets the blood on the mask, and then Dio puts
Dio
the mask
goes,
on.
I'm tired of being a human. And we're like, what?
Yeah. And he's like, all these issues with that people are so cruel. I'm like, you're cruel.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah,
cruelest
you're
of
the
them.
one.
You're the problem.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. You continued the cycle of asshole.
And that's where the
asshole cycle.
The asshole cycle.
Circle of ass.
Circle of ass.
Yeah, there we
And
go.
that's
Cool.
where the first volume ends with
A solid
Dio.
cliffhanger.
Oh, super perfect cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But now we know, Joe's dad knows. I mean, everyone in the mansion knows
He's been exposed.
what Dio's been up to.
Oh yeah, a couple other things happened before the volume ends though.
What?
Because he goes to stab Jojo.
Oh yeah.
And it looked like, did he take the stab in the shoulder? No, his old papa took it.
Oh, his old papa.
Because
did
they
take
reveal
it.
that we've called the cops. They all heard you admit everything that you just did right now. I was like, yeah. And then he goes to stab him, but his dad came in and took
His
it.
old papa did take it. You're right. Fuck.
And that was definitely because he's like, you're my boy, and I'm like, you absolutely were a good guy. You also couldn't comprehend the kind of person Dio was.
No.
So a lot of things got closed out at the end of that story, which I liked, and it did end on a note of we got like a hint of like where the magic's gonna go. We got for sure there will be magic. Here's like it's vampires.
Yeah.
And then it ends on
Yeah. Super solid cliffhanger, super solid first volume with all the backstory leading up to what happens between them. Everything.
Oh, yeah.
And in a lot of ways, this does feel like it's setting up what's going to happen in the later two volumes. Because there's only, I think, a total of 3 of these in the first part. And so I think a lot of this is just establishing their relationship, why they feel so much animosity towards one another. And now we're going to get to see the ass kicking and
because the thing is for Jojo as a human, he beat Dio.
So
So now Dio is superhuman.
Yeah.
But it is like, on even ground, he lost.
Yes.
And I think that's a cool
and
point for him.
I do know a little bit of something that happens after, but I've decided to not say it.
And also I was really excited to see a glimpse of the magic system we all know is in place. But that doesn't even come up yet. So that's how how much of a short glimpse this was.
And I will say this too, while magic does become a smaller part later in Phantom Blood, that system that I think you're thinking of doesn't even come into play until other parts.
Oh, wow.
Because it's something I think he was figuring out as he went along. A lot of people, feel as if, and I think he's even said it, the authors even said it, that, he was, figuring out what he wanted the story to be. Like during Phantom Blood, it was sort of the genesis of what it is today. I mean, he was figuring out his voice as a mangaka and, Jonathan's voice, and figuring out what the series and what its vibe was going to be.
Yeah,
well, you can see him figuring it out, and I love that.
Just based on what I do know, because for generational stuff, which he mentions, the author notes that's what it's going to be, and there's a vampire immortal enemy. That alone is pretty cool. Of a family of generations fighting one vampire.
Yeah,
you see that sometimes in vampire stories where it's like, oh, my father was a vampire hunter after this guy.
Ben Helsing.
I like that concept of one of us is gonna get him.
Yeah, didn't really know what to expect going into it. I had seen a couple episodes of the 2012 anime, and then I had read a few chapters at Barnes & Noble many years back, but I really enjoyed it this time around.
I was surprised how much I liked it.
Same.
And the character moments and had the story pacing. I thought it was going to be a little wackier and a little harder for me to get into.
Yeah.
Same.
I think what the beauty of doing these videos on these series specifically is that if there's anybody else watching and listening that for whatever reason has put off getting into this series,
such an easy read, by the way.
Super easy. It really did blow. I blew through it. It went by so fast.
Yeah.
It was really fun and enjoyable.
I like Jojo. I love Ario Speedwagon, even though I only saw him for 3 pages in total.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really exceeded my expectations of what, the introduction to the JoJo sphere is.
Yeah.
But I'm a sucker for vampires, so I was very happy and pleasantly surprised.
You're a sucker?
I'm a sucker for vampies.
And I think it does sort of ease you into
You're a bloodsucker for vampires.
the world and the rest of the craziness that will definitely follow. And you know what? We've gone through some older series recently, and this freaking holds up, man.
I think I had the most just enjoyment from this one so far.
I'll definitely say, look, I know Fist of the North Star. This was heavily inspired.
That had a charm too.
Yeah,
this was on another level.
I agree, and I know that you got to give respect where respect is due. JoJo wouldn't exist without Fist of the North Star, but I really enjoyed it.
It was just super entertaining. It was super entertaining, and all the moments hit, and the cliffhanger is insane, and just the buildup of the story really keeps you reading what's going to happen.
Yeah, it kind of makes me, I guess there's a time and place, where sometimes you need to be at a certain place to read a certain thing for it to hit you a certain way. But, I don't know. It kind of makes me silly. It makes me feel silly for putting it off for so long.
Because I'm well, damn. Now I want to watch the anime.
Yeah.
I want to because it's not the case right now, but I do know that music will become a part of it. I'm that won't come across in manga.
And it is cool to see. I didn't know about the JoJo Joestar legacy and the whole lineage behind all the characters. It is cool to see the first volume and seeing how it could even get to the point where it is now. It's very not off-putting, but it just makes me curious as to where this mangaka can take the story and how well he can adapt it into whatever the case may be, anime, manga.
When was this written?
This was written in 1987.
Okay, Doctor Who came first?
Doctor Who's about 40 years old, 50 years old. No, it's actually going to be celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. So yeah, this Doctor Who's older than this.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just there's interesting parallels going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I love them both.
Yeah, I mean they deal with like, sometimes magic, sometimes sci-fi stuff.
Well, yeah, and I think, and to see where it goes too, and that's another show, staying relevant and having to constantly reinvent itself, season to season and this part to part. And what's cool too is I think there's even, with there being a female doctor and everything now, there's even, I'm pretty sure, protagonists in later parts that are, female protagonists that are part of the lineage, the Joestar lineage.
Is their name Jolene?
Maybe that's one of them.
I think.
Yeah.
I think they all start with J.
Well,
probably.
They all start with Joe.
Yeah, because they got to be Jojo. But it's all Joe because Joestar. And
they all have to be Joestar?
Well, I mean, like his is John.
Yeah.
His full name is Jonathan Joestar. So
Yeah.
Jojo.
He's Jojo because his name is
Well,
Jonathan.
actually, one of them is Giorno, I think. Giorno.
Joey Giorno.
It's Giorno, but he's the one that looks the coolest.
It's not
He's the one-
delivery.
It's
It's Dio.
But
His name was Dio,
But he's the one-
and he dances on
Oh!
he's the one that has that wears the purple suit and has like the curls. He's the one that I really, really, really want to see.
He's the face of the JoJo.
He
So
is.
it's him and it's the other guy with the hat.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
with the
thought
star.
it was him with that. I thought those were the same guy.
No,
No, there's like a blonde one. Yeah, the
the
blonde,
blonde one's like the skinnier, more sort of flamboyant one who I love, and then the other one is like the more buff
with the hat.
with the hat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Which is it's so interesting.
I can't wait. And then I don't know exactly how the system works, but I know they're called stands, and like I can't wait to learn about that and see how that works.
Because I was worried going in, I'm going to have a hard time understanding that whole system.
Mm-hmm.
But I am under the impression it's going to be very well explained on an easy level. Based on this writing, it seems like that's not going to be hard to like understand what's going on. It is just hard to see it from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the main thing. I mean, that's the whole hang up that I had because I was like, how could I even understand? How could I possibly? It's like, no, it's just read the story.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's really not that hard.
It really is the same thing with Berserk. I mean, you feel like it's such a huge, vast, epic story, and when you get into it, you're like, oh, it really is just chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, everyone talks about the build-up moments.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, is that the whole thing?
Yeah, like, oh my God, I can't, it's so much. There's in the communities, they will post a lot and maybe you'll feel fatigued, but it really is just as simple as like picking up the first volume and reading it. And I think, especially if you've liked some of the things that we've been reviewing recently, that you'll absolutely love this. If you haven't already read it, which I know there are probably a lot of people watching that have already read it and are listening to see if we liked it or not. But I know there's a few of you who are still probably haven't got around to it. And what a better time than now? You can read along with us.
The Joe
Stars.
Stars. Okay.
Cody, I was like, what are you doing? You're really setting us up to fail. And then Megan pulled it out of her ass.
Well,
Literally.
Yeah.
literally.
Literally,
Yeah.
yeah. Her hands
Oh
are
my
covered in
God.
shit right now.
Yeah.
It smells gross. Yeah. But that's gonna do it for
Oh,
our
that's
volume
not sweat.
1
No.
review.
No.
Let us know. I have a couple things I want to ask of the JoJo fandom. Let us know, first of all, going forward, if we do end up covering more. Let us know how we should cover it, if the anime is an important part in experiencing JoJo, or if we can get by on, just kind of going through the manga, because you know what we love to do here. We love to read us some manga.
Woo!
Each week.
Also, if you really want it to happen soon, we got to ask the same thing that we asked of you in our One Piece video, because it really is a way to show us that you want to see it. It's a fair system that signals to us this is something we got to get to, and we got to get to fast. So if you want to see a JoJo volume done as soon as you can see it, you got to get this video to either A, 500 likes, or B, it's got to be higher than our
One
part
Piece.
3 East Blue video, which is
Yes,
going to be coming out
because
on Saturday.
I really would like to go more into the series, but there are so many that we want to go into at this point that
So, yeah.
we need a voting system to
Yeah,
decide.
because we're like, oh, we love Want to read more Berserk?
Wanna read
Definitely.
more One Piece.
Want to read more One Piece? Want to read more Jojo? And they're all on the same level.
Yes.
So,
And we all love them equally, like our children.
Yeah.
but I'm much more interested in the world of this.
Me
Whoa.
too. Me
So
too. I mean, One
I'm
Piece
going
too,
to
I've
vote.
been falling in love more with it.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
as it goes on, but I still have hangups about that
But
story.
how you can, vote is by clicking that thumbs up button and, letting us know if we should get to more One Piece soon, if we should get to, or more JoJo soon.
Why don't
Why don't you put that thumb in our eyes? Huh?
Put that thumb in our eyes.
Uh-huh.
All right. That's,
it works because
it
we'll
works.
see it. We'll see it.
We'll
Because we'll
see
see
it and we'll bleed JoJo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And we do want to figure out a system, by the way, if there is anybody, who is watching and listening and is waiting for those Berserk episodes to come back too. We are working on putting together a system where we can sort of kind of rotate through everything. We really need to figure out what we're doing next. But after that, we're going to try to be fair and give, kind of enough time to all these series so we don't neglect one for too long. So if you're waiting for more Berserk, it's still coming, but we're just adding one more to the rotation.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
it's wild how it's like, oh, I just found out I really like this series. It goes on forever.
Yeah. And then you find another one a month later.
It's so wild to ever think that I can get bored.
I know. I mean, you have entertainment for the rest of your life.
I know. It's real. It's really honestly amazing.
Yeah. So let us know what you think of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. If you haven't read it and you decide to read it, especially let us know.
Final shout out to Gachi for giving
Yes.
us this volume and really pushing us to
We
read
did
this.
it,
We did
Gachi. We finally
Almost
did
a
it.
full year after you gave it to
And
us.
we'll get to Voynich Hotel soon, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you
I'm
worry.
sorry.
Spooktober's but a month
Oh,
away.
Spooktober is only a month away.
It's only a month
I didn't
away.
do my British accent a lot because Josh hates it, apparently.
Well, I mean, if there's any, people, from...
Am I doing it justice?
Why don't you let us know in the comments?
Can you offer me some taxes without representation?
No.
And speaking of comments, the only thing left to do now is to get to our Oners Circle, which is the part of the episode where Volume 1 Sean, she works real hard, She goes through all the comments that you've left on previous videos. She finds a couple, she reads them to us, and we respond to them on the podcast. And if you want one of your comments to get read in a future episode, all you got to do is leave a comment on this video or any of our previous videos. But with all that said, Volume 1, Sean, feels like a long time. It feels like I haven't talked to you in a long time. But can you do us a favor and can you read us the first comment, please?
This one comes from John Alex. Funny you mentioned the art looking like paintings because the mangaka actually draws with a paintbrush, more so than a pen. I really hope you give a second volume a shot. This gets so much better.
And of course, this is from our Vagabond episode.
Yeah.
Vagabond.
Which I thought was, it makes sense. When you look at it, it is a very masterful art piece, honestly, some of the panels. So that makes so much sense.
Vagabond's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's no denying that. It's the fact that we, like I mentioned earlier, we have so many series to get to.
Yeah.
So, and again, like I know this might sound like some sort of ploy, but it really is the truth. Like the way you can show us what you're more interested in watching is by liking.
Yeah,
and
for the
videos.
record, it's so not a ploy. The first time we did that, I did it because I didn't think you guys would actually even do it.
Yeah, we're not volume
I sounds
one
like, if this
ploy
gets-
cast.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have like an average. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There's the Queen has returned.
The Queen.
Off with the head.
We have like an average amount of like thumbs up. So like, yeah, if it gets to this, we'll like cover more One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was rooting for you guys. You guys came through.
yeah,
You really
it
did.
Wasn't a ploy. It was just like, I mean, if people are that interested, then we'll absolutely do it.
Yeah.
And I have discovered things I like about that series too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you can vote. I would love to get to more Vagabond. I think there are some things that are going to take a little bit of priority over it.
If we were able to do an episode a day,
Yeah.
I would be comfortable getting to Vagabonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not, and again, it's not to say that we're not going to do these things. We'll talk about it more. But we're trying to work out a system where we can get to more stuff and cover more stuff. So stay tuned and, just give us a little bit of time to figure it out. But Volume 1, Sean, can you hit us with another comment, please?
This one comes from Lil Ray.
No, right.
Also would love to see you cover Steins Gate. Rewatched it 4 times and wouldn't mind another.
That
Love
was a
Steins Gate.
great. I watched the anime. I don't know if there's a manga.
I don't know either. I don't know if it's an anime original or not.
It's one of my favorites. I
Love it.
binged it all the characters. I'll say it. Okabe is like number one husbando. Like,
I mean, it's a beautiful scene.
Yeah, he's Dib grown up.
he
is.
I love all the characters. They get so many good moments.
Yeah.
And it's so satisfying when you like realize how everything's connected.
And I'm a sucker for time travel.
I know. Oh my god.
There's
and it's
this-
like a murder mystery. I mean, come on.
and it has this interesting mood to it where it's
Oh,
just
yeah.
like melancholy.
It's melancholic and it saddens me to my core.
Oh, how about this? Someone who's sad, you call them melancholics.
melancholics? Are always sad. They're melancholics.
Like they're addicted to it.
But all I say to that comment is too soon.
Oh. I mean,
Like toot-a-doo,
yeah.
toot-a-soon.
Okay, see, if
Okay,
you
that
had done it
was-
like
yeah,
that.
Okay,
you have to
okay,
sell
I
it.
did
Yeah,
it
it's how
again.
you
You have
sell
to sell
it.
it.
Yeah. But we all love Steins Gate. And look, anime is something that we.
If
you
it
know,
has a manga, we can do it in a volume 1, but
and also, we did now and then here and there.
Yeah.
And we've done Fully Cool. We've done other anime, and we want to do more anime. So again, it goes back to what I said earlier. We're really trying to figure out a new system to get to more stuff, and I swear we're working on it. So just bear with us. But hopefully, and I think for sure that would be on the anime list.
We
of
had a
things to come.
to-do
Totally.
list getting compiled of all the things that have been suggested, and we each individually want to do.
Mhm.
And I will just look at it and be like, this is impossible.
This
This
is
show's going
a
nowhere.
year's worth.
Yeah.
If not more.
No.
No,
of
like,
course.
Time-wise, like, this is 3 years of, like,
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
If we keep at, like, going at it twice a week,
Yeah.
each week.
Each week.
Each week. Volume 1, John, can you hit us with the final comment, please? And do me a favor. Can you make it a good one? Thank you so much.
This one comes from Aaron Dev.
Aaron Dev.
Cruella manga! Do it! Fire emoji! Fire emoji!
Oh, because they want to burn it.
Oh,
That's what. Yeah,
do it,
That-
burn
that-
it,
that
burn it.
was a good
No,
comment.
no,
Volume 1,
no.
Chen.
Do
Do
Thank
it,
you.
burn it, burn it.
That
No.
makes so much sense.
No, they want me to do it.
It
and they
looks
want me
like
to-
it's
they want me
getting a
to-
lot of hate.
Do it like they did to my
fire,
old,
burn
do
it,
it like
do
they
it.
did to
That's
my
what I was
old
gonna
Danny
like-
boy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I had to.
That was good. I
had to.
was really good.
It's gonna it's like set it on fire like that,
No.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my
Set it
God.
on fire.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
No, not set it on fire. It's a fire. That series fire.
It's like fire
That se-
power.
That series fire.
I think you should let the people speak. He wants to set Cruella
He
on
spoke.
fire.
He said what he said.
No, he
Yeah.
said that fire, burn it to the ground.
He said-
No, he
Do
said
it,
that series,
fire.
That series fire.
Can you reiterate?
Oh, I'm sorry that
can
you don't understand the vernacular, the colloquialisms of these times, Cody.
Two big words.
Yeah, I
The
think you're gonna see
suits-
emojis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, also emojis, which I love.
Yeah, the
This-
vernacular.
Yeah, the vernacular
This-
emoji used.
yeah. This manga fire is what he's saying.
No, he didn't because it's not even.
No,
out
he
yet.
would have said
It
that.
is out. I have it upstairs.
Oh God, you do.
I bought it. There's a Cruella manga, not a Cruella comic book, a Cruella manga that was illustrated by a Japanese mangaka, and I think even written. Beautiful art, beautiful story, and a beautiful movie. And these two Dalmatians over here don't want.
Oh, do you want to kill us?
Yeah.
She doesn't kill him.
Bringing it back to Danny.
Maybe if you watch the movie, then you'd know that.
I watched
Danny was a
101
Dalmatian.
Danny was a
Dalmatians.
Dalmatian.
Danny is a Dalmatian, huh?
Huh?
Sorry. Uh-huh.
Huh?
Huh?
It really.
Takes the steam out of my whole argument.
Oh, wow.
He was a Dalmatian. I didn't really put that two and two together.
That's
But
such a genuine
yeah.
thing you had to process.
Yeah, I didn't.
Danny
It just
is a
kinda,
Dalmatian, huh?
it hit me all at once. But I would love to. But look, like
shit.
like I said, we don't do anything unless it's something that you guys want to see. So you gotta let us know if you guys sound off.
Yeah, if you get Cruella to 500 likes, we will.
Oh, there's no video of it. So how would
Oh, then I guess it'll never happen.
they? Oh, maybe okay. Give a number of comments you'd like to see. Cruella comments. So you like to see.
6,900.
No,
That's crazy.
No, okay.
You asked.
Honestly,
I did ask for a real number.
honestly,
That's a real number. I know that's hard for you
Honestly,
to comprehend.
I can't count past 10.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
20
it's accepted.
20 comments
If
That's a lot. That's
from
a bit.
different users,
from different
not one
users.
of your jokers.
Yeah, not one of your Joshies.
Just 20. We
Okay,
got
you
it.
can't make accounts either. That's
I'm
not
not gonna
fair.
make accounts. I don't have time.
I'm
make
going to
accounts.
check into every single account that
Vet 'em.
comments Cruella.
Vet them. Okay.
Huh?
Vet them.
I thought you said Venom.
I thought you said Venom.
Oh no, you got too excited.
I did. I was like, yeah, can we?
Well, 20 comments. Look, I don't really expect us to do it, but if you do, I mean, it
We
makes
can
me
do a
pretty
Dragon's
happy.
Dogma manga. Oh.
But what is more important is
I love-
letting us know what our next volume done is going to be. You're going to want to tune in Saturday. You're going to want to hear us talk about the conclusion of the East Blue arc. And that's where we're going to get to all your comments and corrections. And we're going to save a lot of time to do that. So if you haven't commented on the part 2 video yet, or even the part 1, go back, leave some comments. We're going to go through them. We're going to compile them. We're going to talk about them. And then we're going to decide what we're going to do next. If we're going to do Jojo, or if we're going to do Berserk, if we're going to do more One Piece. But stay tuned. We'll keep you posted and we'll let you know. Other than that, I think the only thing we got to do before our outro that's always the same and never changes is we got to thank our wonderful, beautiful, amazing, handsome, charismatic, buff,
Mud eaten.
no.
Well, like in being
powerful.
To preserve their honor.
Powerful,
preserve their honor. Yeah.
honorable Patreon members.
Yay!
Shout out to all of our Patreon,
Whoa.
all of our Patreon members.
Look at
Thank
them
each
go.
and every single one of you. Thank you to all of our new members. We see you. We appreciate you. And just to let you know, every time we get a new Patreon member, we all message each other. We all get so excited. It really does mean the world to us. It makes our day. And yes, shout out to all of you guys.
The honest thing here is the more we get, the more we can like start making more videos a week, which is the thing on our whiteboard there, which a lot of it is just impossible to like get as much content as we want out when we have to, clock in.
Yeah, but I mean, what Cody's saying is absolutely
Cock in.
true. What he's saying is absolutely true.
Time to clock out and cock
the
in.
more support that we get, we put it all back into the show. Like we really do,
Yes, ma'am.
use it to take time to do more research, to open up our schedules a little bit more, to cover more stuff. We are willing to do as many episodes as we got to do. It really boils down to just like time. And so by showing your support, it means the world to us because
we want to do 5 videos a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd love to. And by your support, I mean, we're getting closer and closer. And so it really, truly means a lot to us. And if you would like to become a Patreon member, all you got to do is go to patreon.com/volume1pod. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite music in the Patreon exclusive bonus podcast that we do each week as well. So you're not going to want to miss that.
You get early access.
Early access.
You get early access to all of
like
our
2
episodes.
days early.
Two whole days.
Two whole
Two
days.
That's a lot.
And I just have to thank everybody too. I know that everybody might not be in a position where they can, fork over
If
a
you
couple
can't
dollars.
donate financially, you
Yeah.
can support by joining the Algorithm Gang.
Exactly.
And what does the Algorithm Gang do, Megan?
They comment algorithm gang, and then we know that they're in the gang, and we give them street cred.
Mhm.
And they are our babies.
We love
And
them.
they just like and comment.
They
and
like
stuff.
and comment. And
Yeah,
they're the
dude. We
best.
know that
Every
everybody's not in
little
a
thing
financial
helps.
situation where they can, spare that money. And if you can't, no worries. We appreciate you as well. We appreciate you for watching, listening, like, and subscribe, and all that.
Another longtime supporter, Hassan,
Love
spearheaded
it.
just a group of people, just helping us in the algorithm a little bit.
Yeah, be a part of the gang too. We appreciate that just as much. Now, the only thing left to do is to get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes. Megan, did you squeeze your joke in?
I forgot about it. It was.
Can you say it?
I don't know where I wrote it down.
You know where
honestly.
you wrote it.
Yeah, you know where you wrote it down. I
Um,
just wanted just because you were like, really.
I don't know
You were setting
where
it up
I
to be a
put
really
it.
like a heavy hitter.
Yeah, I know.
You were like, you guys are gonna love it. I'm gonna set it up. If you guys don't, I'll figure it out.
I don't know. It's too late now.
That's a little anticlimactic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But this one won't be.
You got an outro
Do you have
that's
one?
always the same and never changes?
Yeah, I got one.
Okay,
Okay. Who wants to go first?
you go first.
I don't actually have.
Oh.
Dio. More like D's nuts.
Oh. Megan.
What?
I do not believe it's more like that.
I don't think it's like that at all.
Mm.
Cody's over here probably sitting on his nuts right now. Nobody gets that. But
Just because I sat on my nuts and Megan thought it was the funniest thing in the world. And I'm
literally
like,
the funniest thing she's ever heard in her life.
she laughed. We were in a restaurant, a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I sat on my balls. And she was,
Erupt-
look at that.
erupt.
Look at this. I get balls.
It's the
you
way
got-
balls.
You put a little emphasis in the B and it will just
It's the
kill
way
Megan.
you say balls.
Just sat on my balls.
But how about we say, Until next time, we'll see you in our next bizarre adventure.
Or how about next time? Dio sucks. Get it?
Dio sucks.
No, he sucks because he's like a vampire now.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
I honestly thought you didn't have anything.
Dio sucks. D's
I
nuts.
thought we were gonna say we'll see you in our next bizarre adventure, but
I mean, no, we can do
say
yours.
No, we can say yours.
No, we can say yours.
No, we can say yours.
Okay.
Until next time.
Okay, so you want to do Dio sucks?
No, we can do yours.
No, we'll do yours.
I like yours better because it encapsulates.
We'll see you in our next bizarre adventure.
Yes.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
we'll see you next time on our
Dio's nuts.
Okay, one more time.
No, I think
we'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time
on our bizarre.
In our bizarre nuts.
No, we'll see you next time. We'll see you on our next bizarre adventure.
We'll see you next time on our.
No, not next time. We'll see you next on our. You're confusing.
Okay, which is it, Josh?
We'll see you.
We'll see you on our next.
Okay, we'll see
adventure.
you on our next bizarre adventure.
Yes.
We'll see you.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And until next time,
we'll see you on our next bizarre adventure.
We did it.
Joe, are you gonna put that mask on?
Oh,
I don't know if you saw, but you did get a little bit of blood.
I did because I cut myself on the mic stand.
I saw that. Like, you really should get those rusty nails out.
No,
you probably have
it's
tetanus
just,
now.
If people could see underneath the table.
You probably have tetanus now.
I'll just go ahead and put it on real quick.